As we move through life and reach pivotal moments like turning 60, we come to realize just how precious our time truly is. The way we choose to spend it becomes more meaningful than ever, shaping not only our happiness but also our health and overall sense of well-being. This stage invites us to reflect, reassess, and make thoughtful changes that align with the life we want to lead. Often, the habits and priorities that once guided us no longer feel relevant or necessary. In fact, by letting go of certain things, we create space for deeper peace, fulfillment, and contentment. Today, we'll explore 11 significant changes that have transformed our lives after 60, decisions that have brought us a richer, more purposeful existence. Join us as we reflect on how releasing what no longer serves us has led to unexpected growth and a renewed sense of joy in this exciting chapter. Quitting work for the sake of working. Just think about why we do what we do, especially when it comes to work. Many of us have spent decades dedicating ourselves to our careers, chasing success, climbing the ladder, and doing whatever it takes to keep up with the demands of life. In our younger years, it often feels like we're in a constant race. We're working hard to secure our futures, provide for our families, or maybe even to prove something to ourselves. But as we get older, especially after reaching that milestone of 60, we start to notice that the reasons we work begin to shift. The energy we once poured into long hours and the endless hustle starts to feel less fulfilling. We come to realize that working just to stay busy or out of habit might not be serving us the way it once did. The truth is, there comes a point when we have to ask ourselves, why are we still grinding so hard? What are we trying to achieve at this stage of life? Are we working for a sense of purpose, or are we just keeping ourselves occupied because it's what we've always done? These are not easy questions, but they are crucial ones. We owe it to ourselves to look closely at the reasons behind our efforts. We should ask, what is this extra time at work really giving me? What am I sacrificing in the process? And if we find that the answers don't align with where we want to be, it's time to rethink our relationship with work. When we approach work with this kind of awareness, something powerful happens. We realize that not every hour spent working is productive in the ways that truly matter. If the work we're doing doesn't bring us joy or isn't contributing to a larger, meaningful goal, it may be time to step back. This doesn't mean we need to give up working altogether, but it does mean that we can be more intentional about where and how we spend our energy. Our time becomes more precious as we age, and it's up to us to make sure we're using it in ways that genuinely enrich our lives. How much of our lives we dedicate to work? Now imagine shifting that focus to the things that bring us real happiness. Whether that's spending more time with our loved ones, investing in our health, or rediscovering passions and hobbies we once had to set aside. There's a deep sense of fulfillment in creating space for the things that feed our souls, and the beauty of it is that we are finally in a position to do just that. We have the wisdom, the experience, and the freedom to make choices that align with our values and desires. It's easy to feel like we need to keep going at the same pace, to continue proving our worth through work, especially in a world that values productivity above all else. But the reality is, the most important things in life aren't measured by the hours we clock in at the office. They're measured by the quality of our experiences, the depth of our relationships, and the peace we feel within ourselves. We've earned the right to redefine what success looks like, and we can choose to fill our lives with moments of joy, connection, and rest. We should never underestimate the value of simply being present, whether that's enjoying a quiet morning with a cup of coffee, taking a walk in nature, or having an uninterrupted conversation with someone we care about. These moments may seem small, but they hold immense power. They remind us that life is about more than just staying busy. It's about living fully. When we prioritize the things that truly matter, we start to see the richness that life has to offer, beyond any paycheck or promotion. Let's honor all the hard work we've done. But let's also be brave enough to step back and reconsider how we want to move forward. Life is not just about working to stay afloat. It's about thriving, finding joy, and cherishing the time we have. We have the opportunity to craft a life filled with purpose and intention, where we invest our time and energy in the things that bring us true happiness. Our well-being, our relationships, and the experiences we create, these are the real treasures of life. Let's make the most of them. 2. Quitting mindless spending. When we think about the role of money in our lives, it's easy to get swept away in a culture that constantly encourages us to buy more, to accumulate, and to chase the next shiny thing. Many of us have found ourselves reaching for our wallets, not because we truly need something, but out of habit or because we believe that new purchase might fill a momentary void. We've been conditioned to believe that material possessions will somehow bring us lasting happiness or status. But how often do we stop to question that? When we pause and reflect, we begin to realize that these things rarely bring the deep sense of fulfillment we're hoping for. Instead, they clutter our lives and distract us from what truly matters. As we grow in awareness, we can start making a conscious shift in how we view our spending habits. It's not about depriving ourselves or living in scarcity, but rather about choosing wisely. Are we buying things because they align with our core values, or are we simply reacting to a fleeting impulse or societal pressure? When we take the time to ask ourselves these questions, we begin to see that mindless spending isn't just draining our wallets, it's draining our mental and emotional energy too. By being more intentional, we can direct our resources, both time and money, toward things that genuinely add value to our lives, things that nurture our spirit, enrich our experiences, and promote well-being. This process of becoming mindful about our financial choices is incredibly liberating. It allows us to step out of the cycle of consumerism and reclaim control over our lives. We start to prioritize quality over quantity, meaning over materialism, and relationships over possessions. Whether it's choosing to spend on experiences that foster personal growth, or investing in products that enhance our health and well-being, we begin to align our financial choices with what truly matters to us. And that, in turn, creates a deeper sense of satisfaction and peace. We realize that joy doesn't come from accumulating more, but from appreciating and making the most of what we already have. By quitting mindless spending, we don't just save money, we gain clarity, purpose, and freedom. We become more aware of the essentials of life, the things that really nourish us, like meaningful connections, inner growth, and peace of mind. This isn't a one-time shift, but a lifelong practice of mindfulness and intention. Every time we choose to spend consciously, we are not only making better financial decisions, but we're also cultivating a mindset of abundance that values depth over distraction. Through this, we open ourselves up to a richer, more fulfilling way of living, one that goes beyond the surface and taps into what truly brings us happiness. Number 3. Quitting stressing over the small stuff. Life is too short to be weighed down by things that don't really matter. Imagine this. You pick up a glass of water. It's light at first, but if you hold it for an hour, it starts to feel heavier. Now, hold it for days, and it becomes unbearable. Stress works the same way. Little worries that we carry for too long begin to feel like massive burdens. They slowly drain our energy and happiness. Sometimes we're so focused on the small, insignificant bumps in the road that we forget to enjoy the beautiful journey we're on. Life is far too precious to be spent obsessing over pebbles when we could be embracing the entire landscape. Think about the times you found yourself getting upset over minor things, like being stuck in traffic or arguing over something trivial. In those moments, it can feel like the world is crashing down. But in reality, they are small blips in the bigger picture of your life. It's like being on a vast ocean and fixating on a small leak in the boat, even though it's not threatening to sink. As time passes, we realize that stressing over these minor issues not only exhausts us, but also steals away the moments we should be cherishing. It's as if we're trading our peace for something that will be meaningless tomorrow. There's immense power in shifting your mindset. Instead of fixating on things outside of your control, like bad traffic, misunderstandings, or delays, focus on what you can control, your reactions. Traffic jams and miscommunications are part of life, just like the weather or the ticking of time. But you get to decide how much power you give them over your mood. Imagine your mind like a closet. By letting go of small worries, you make space for things that genuinely bring you joy and fulfillment. Life becomes easier when you stop trying to control the uncontrollable and instead ride the wave with grace. Embracing life's imperfections can bring you an unexpected sense of peace. The pursuit of perfection is exhausting and, frankly, impossible. We've all heard the phrase, "Life is what happens while we're making other plans." Often, the most beautiful moments are the unplanned ones. The laughter that comes out of nowhere, the surprise connections, and even the mistakes that teach us something new. When you let go of trying to control every detail, you open yourself up to the real, raw beauty of life. It's in these moments of surrender that we find true happiness. The small annoyances and frustrations that once seemed like big deals start to lose their grip on you. Suddenly, traffic is just traffic. A disagreement is just a bump in the road, not the end of the journey. By choosing to release the hold that these little things have on you, you reclaim your peace. And peace is priceless. It's the foundation for everything else you want in life: happiness, success, and fulfillment. Letting go of stress doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities or pretending problems don't exist. It means having the wisdom to know which things are worth your energy. It means choosing peace over chaos and joy over frustration. When you stop sweating the small stuff, you make room for the big stuff. The meaningful experiences, the connections, and the memories that will actually matter when you look back on your life. Life is full of surprises, and not all of them are pleasant. But the good news is, you get to decide how much space those surprises take up in your mind and heart. By learning to release stress, you free yourself from the constant push and pull of life's uncertainties. You learn to live in the moment, to savor the present, and to face challenges with a calm that comes from within. When you let go of the small stuff, something magical happens. Your world opens up. You begin to notice the beauty in everything around you. The sunshine feels warmer, the laughter sounds sweeter, and even the simple act of breathing feels like a gift. Life becomes lighter, not because the challenges have disappeared, but because you've chosen to rise above them. So, next time you feel the weight of small stresses piling up, pause and ask yourself, will this matter tomorrow? Will it matter next week? Often, the answer is no. And when we realize this, we can make the conscious choice to let go, to flow like the river, and to focus on the beauty of the journey rather than the bumps along the way. Life is too precious to be spent worrying about every small detail. Let's choose to live with intention, finding peace in the present moment, and remembering that the big picture is always more beautiful than any of the tiny distractions along the path. 4. Quitting neglecting self-care. Too often, we're taught that prioritizing ourselves is somehow selfish, that we should always be focused on others, our families, our jobs, our responsibilities. But let's take a moment and reflect on this. How can we give the best of ourselves if we are running on empty? If we're constantly putting others first without ever checking in on our own needs, we'll eventually find ourselves worn out, drained, and perhaps even resentful. Self-care is not about ignoring the needs of others. It's about making sure we're in a place of strength, balance, and health so we can continue to be there for the people and causes we care about, with a full heart and clear mind. We've all been guilty of pushing our own well-being aside to meet the demands of life, whether it's work deadlines, family obligations, or even societal expectations. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we're doing the right thing by sacrificing our own needs. But what if we started seeing self-care as not just a personal responsibility, but a gift to the people we care about most? When we nurture our own bodies, minds, and spirits, we are not just bettering ourselves. We are creating the energy, patience, and presence that allow us to support those around us in a deeper, more meaningful way. This is not an act of selfishness. It's an act of sustainability, both for us and for those we love. Particularly as we age, it becomes clear that our well-being is a foundation for everything else. We've seen it, haven't we? A tired, stressed-out version of ourselves simply can't offer the same love, care, or enthusiasm as the one that feels rested, centered, and fulfilled. This realization becomes even more critical as we step into new stages of life. Perhaps, after decades of focusing on others, we now find ourselves more aware of how essential it is to fill our own cup. Meditation, practicing gratitude, engaging in hobbies that bring us joy, these are not luxuries, they're necessities. They remind us of who we are at our core, and they provide us with the resilience to face challenges with grace and patience. We create a ripple effect in our lives. When we feel good, physically, mentally, and emotionally, we show up more fully. We are more present, more loving, more patient, and more connected to the world around us. It's in this state that we truly thrive, not just for ourselves, but for everyone we interact with. So, let's commit to quitting the habit of neglecting ourselves. Let's make time to do what fills us up, what restores our energy, what makes us feel whole. Not only will we benefit, but the people we love, the work we do, and the lives we lead will all reflect the positive change. 5. Quitting overcommitting to others. It's something we often grapple with in our daily lives. We all have moments when we find ourselves saying yes to obligations, tasks, or favors, even when our hearts aren't in it. Perhaps we fear disappointing others or feel a strong sense of duty to help, so we stretch ourselves thin. This habit can create a cycle of stress and dissatisfaction, leaving us feeling drained instead of fulfilled. However, as we journey through life, particularly as we reach our later years, we start to recognize the value of our time. We realize that every moment is precious, and suddenly we understand that our well-being should take center stage. Consider the shift that comes with this realization. It's not an easy transition, and it certainly doesn't happen overnight. But what if we began to explore the idea that our own desires and needs matter just as much as those of others? By taking a moment to reflect, we can uncover the passions and pursuits that genuinely resonate with us. Instead of automatically agreeing to commitments that don't align with our values, we can start to discern what truly brings us joy and fulfillment. This process invites us to step back and think critically about our choices. It's an empowering shift that allows us to curate our experiences in a way that enriches our lives. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to live a life where we choose to invest our time and energy in pursuits that resonate deeply with us. By letting go of obligations that don't serve our higher purpose, we create an opportunity to fill our schedules with meaningful relationships and enriching experiences. This doesn't just benefit us, it enhances the quality of our connections with others. When we engage in activities and with people that genuinely inspire us, we show up in a more authentic way, radiating a positive energy that fosters deeper bonds. The authenticity we bring to our relationships is contagious, inspiring others to engage more meaningfully as well. Stepping away from the habit of overcommitting creates a newfound sense of freedom. Think about the weight that lifts when we stop saying yes out of guilt or obligation. Instead, we start to reclaim our time that can be spent on self-care, hobbies, or simply enjoying quiet moments. This freedom is transformative. It allows us to explore new interests, deepen our existing passions, and cultivate the relationships that truly matter. We give ourselves permission to breathe, to relax, and to simply enjoy life without the constant pressure to fulfill every request placed upon us. In this newfound space, we discover the power of intentional living. Each choice we make becomes a deliberate act of self-respect. By learning to prioritize what resonates with us, we create a lifestyle that reflects our true selves. This authenticity is liberating. It gives us the confidence to engage in activities that nurture our spirit and fuel our ambitions. Whether it's pursuing a long-neglected hobby, spending quality time with loved ones, or simply enjoying solitude, we find ourselves enriched by the decisions we make when we lead with our hearts instead of our fears. Let's reframe our perspective on saying no. Rather than seeing it as a rejection or a closing of doors, let's view it as an opening to a more fulfilling life. Saying no allows us to prioritize our energy for the things that matter most: our passions, our health, and our relationships. It empowers us to stand firm in our choices and cultivate a life filled with purpose. When we say yes to what aligns with our values and passions, we also say no to the distractions and obligations that pull us away from our true selves. This is not about neglecting our responsibilities, but rather about creating a balanced approach to life that fosters genuine happiness. Our time is a valuable resource. Every moment we reclaim is a moment we can fill with authenticity, joy, and meaning. Let's encourage one another to be mindful of our commitments, to seek out the experiences that resonate with us, and to celebrate the freedom that comes from living a life aligned with our true selves. 6. Quitting unhealthy relationships. Today, we find ourselves reflecting on the importance of surrounding ourselves with healthy relationships, a fundamental aspect of our emotional and mental well-being. Many of us have experienced the weight of unhealthy connections, whether with friends, colleagues, or even family members. Often, we cling to these relationships out of a sense of obligation, habit, or fear of loneliness. We've all been there, spending time with individuals who drain our energy, disrespect our boundaries, or leave us feeling unappreciated. It's crucial to recognize that such dynamics can hinder our personal growth and happiness. By taking a moment to evaluate our relationships, we can begin to discern which ones nourish us and which ones hold us back. Particularly as we grow older, the clarity regarding our needs and values becomes sharper. By the time we reach our 60s and beyond, we often realize that life is too short to invest in relationships that do not contribute positively to our lives. We need to ask ourselves, are these connections enriching our journey? Do they support us in our aspirations? By engaging in honest self-reflection, we can identify relationships that have become toxic or unfulfilling. Letting go is never easy. It involves not only a physical distancing, but also an emotional release that can be challenging. Yet, as we step away from these unhealthy attachments, we create space in our lives for connections that truly resonate with who we are and who we aspire to be. Imagine the transformative power of surrounding ourselves with individuals who uplift us, who challenge us to grow, and who genuinely care about our well-being. This transition can be empowering and liberating, allowing us to embrace a community of support that enhances our happiness and emotional health. When we engage with people who respect our boundaries and encourage our passions, we foster an environment where we can thrive. The relationships we cultivate should reflect our values and aspirations, paving the way for a life filled with joy and fulfillment. We deserve to nurture bonds that are not only supportive but also celebratory of our individuality and achievements. It is a profound act of self-love and self-respect. We must remind ourselves that it's not about the quantity of connections we maintain, but the quality of those relationships that truly matters. As we move forward, let us commit to fostering an atmosphere of mutual respect, love, and support in our lives. By doing so, we not only enrich our own experiences, but also contribute positively to the lives of those we choose to surround ourselves with. Together, we can build a community rooted in understanding and positivity, allowing each of us to flourish in our own unique way. 7. Quitting, neglecting my physical and mental health. For far too long, many of us have found ourselves caught in the whirlwind of our careers, family responsibilities, and various obligations, often placing our own health on the back burner. It's all too easy to adopt the mindset that our health can wait, that we'll take care of ourselves once we achieve our goals or finish our projects. But as we navigate the journey of life, particularly when we reach significant milestones, like turning 60, it becomes crucial to take a step back and reevaluate what truly matters. We must come to the realization that neglecting our well-being can have profound consequences, not just for ourselves, but for those around us as well. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle is not merely an option, it is an essential foundation for a rich and fulfilling life. Being physically active plays a vital role in this commitment. Incorporating regular exercise into our daily routines can significantly enhance our physical health, leading to increased energy levels and improved overall functioning. Picture yourself engaging in a brisk walk through your neighborhood, feeling the invigorating rush of fresh air fill your lungs and the rhythm of your heart quicken. This simple act of movement does wonders for our bodies, but it also revitalizes our minds. We gain clarity, focus, and emotional equilibrium, elements that are crucial for tackling the challenges of everyday life. We come to understand that physical activity is not merely a means to an end. It is a celebration of our capabilities and a testament to our resilience. Mental well-being deserves our attention just as much. We live in a world that often demands our constant attention and energy, leading us to overlook the importance of nurturing our minds. This is where mindfulness practices can be transformative. Imagine carving out a few precious moments each day to engage in meditation or simply sit in quiet reflection. Allow yourself to connect with the present moment, to breathe deeply, and to let go of the stresses that weigh us down. Mindfulness invites us to explore our thoughts and emotions without judgment, fostering a sense of peace and acceptance. Embracing gratitude can significantly enhance our mental outlook. Often we focus on what we lack or the hurdles we face, but by shifting our perspective to recognize the abundance in our lives, we can cultivate a sense of fulfillment that transcends our challenges. Picture starting your day by reflecting on 3 things for which you are grateful. Perhaps the love of family, the beauty of nature, or even the simple pleasure of a warm cup of coffee. This practice fosters resilience and positivity, equipping us with the tools to navigate life's uncertainties. It encourages us to embrace a mindset that sees potential rather than obstacles, empowering us to pursue our goals with renewed vigor and enthusiasm. When we prioritize one aspect, we inherently uplift the other. Engaging in regular exercise releases endorphins, the body's natural mood elevators, creating a positive feedback loop. When we feel good physically, our mental state improves, and when our minds are clear and focused, we are more inclined to care for our bodies. This synergy between our physical and mental well-being creates a holistic approach to health that is transformative. We are not alone. Each of us is part of a larger tapestry, woven together by shared experiences and common aspirations. Let's empower each other to take those vital steps towards better health. Whether it's joining a walking group, practicing mindfulness together, or simply sharing our stories, the act of connecting with one another amplifies our commitment to wellness, reminding us that we're all in this together. Let's choose to celebrate the vitality that comes from physical movement, to embrace the tranquility of mindfulness, and to foster gratitude in our daily lives. By doing so, we not only enrich our own experiences, but also inspire those around us to join us on this incredible journey. 8. Quitting procrastination on personal goals. Time has a way of slipping through our fingers, and as we get older, we often realize how swiftly the years have passed. Many of us may find ourselves looking back at dreams we once had, personal goals we set for ourselves, and wondering where all that time went. Perhaps there were skills we wanted to learn, places we intended to visit, or projects we were eager to finish. Yet somehow, life got in the way, and those ambitions were put on hold. It's easy to tell ourselves that we'll get to them someday, but as time goes on, we must recognize that someday may never come unless we take action now. Let's stop waiting for that elusive perfect moment, because the truth is, there's no such thing. The opportunity to pursue our personal goals is in front of us right now, and all we have to do is reach for it. We often fall into the trap of procrastination, telling ourselves that we need more time, more resources, or better circumstances to begin working on the things that truly matter to us. But the reality is, there will always be reasons to delay. Life will continue to present its challenges, distractions, and responsibilities. But when we look back, we realize that the hesitation wasn't because of a lack of opportunity. It was often fear or uncertainty holding us back. By taking small steps today, no matter how imperfect the circumstances may seem, we begin to reclaim control of our lives. We reignite the passion and purpose that can sometimes feel buried under the weight of daily routines and obligations. We allow ourselves to move forward, even if progress feels slow at first. Every decision to stop putting things off brings us one step closer to living a life filled with intention and fulfillment. Whether it's picking up a hobby we've long been interested in, finally planning that trip we've dreamed about, or tackling a project we've been meaning to complete, we remind ourselves that these personal goals are not just about achievements. They are about creating meaningful experiences that enrich our lives. The sense of accomplishment that comes from overcoming procrastination has the power to transform how we see ourselves and the future ahead of us. The path to a fulfilled life is paved with the decisions we make today. We are never too old to pursue our dreams, and the time to begin is now. There is no need to wait for the stars to align or for circumstances to be perfect. The joy, growth, and sense of purpose we've been searching for are waiting for us, but only if we stop procrastinating and start taking action. So let's seize the present, embrace the opportunities in front of us, and reignite that spark for life by going after the things that truly matter to us. Together, we can make every day count and rediscover the joy that comes from living with intention and purpose. 9. Quitting the fear of change. It's something we all experience, yet it's often accompanied by a wave of apprehension. Many of us have felt that unsettling grip of fear when confronted with the unknown. We cling to what is familiar, to routines and habits that feel safe, even when those very things no longer contribute positively to our lives. But here's the remarkable truth we can all embrace together. Change is not merely something to dread. It is a tremendous opportunity for personal growth and transformation. As we journey through life, we will inevitably encounter shifts, whether it's changes in our health, unexpected turns in our relationships, or new challenges in our environments. In these moments, we have a choice to respond with fear or to approach these transitions with a sense of wonder and curiosity. Let's take a moment to imagine what it would be like to stand at the edge of a new experience, looking out at the horizon of possibilities. Instead of viewing this moment as a challenge to our stability, let's reframe it as an invitation to explore, to learn, and to evolve. Every time we encounter change, we are presented with a chance to reinvent ourselves, to step outside our comfort zones, and to discover who we can become. Think about the potential that lies within us when we allow ourselves to embrace change. It becomes a doorway to uncharted territories where we can learn new skills, foster deeper connections, and cultivate resilience. We can learn to adapt and grow, navigating the twists and turns of life with grace and confidence. Imagine approaching life's changes not with trepidation, but with excitement and anticipation. 10. Quitting irregular sleep patterns. In our busy world, many of us have fallen into the trap of sacrificing sleep for work deadlines or late-night entertainment. We push through fatigue, believing we can catch up on rest later, only to find ourselves in a cycle of irregular sleep patterns that drain our energy and enthusiasm. As we journey through life, it becomes increasingly clear that neglecting our sleep has consequences that ripple through every aspect of our well-being. It's not just about feeling tired. Irregular sleep can significantly affect our mood, our productivity, and even our relationships. When we compromise our rest, we are, in essence, compromising our quality of life. Imagine waking up each morning feeling refreshed and energized, ready to seize the day with clarity and purpose. Establishing a regular sleep routine isn't just a luxury. It's an essential practice of self-care that can transform our lives. By prioritizing sleep, we create a sanctuary of rest that allows our bodies and minds to recharge. This means setting aside distractions and creating a calming environment that promotes relaxation, free from the noise of the outside world. We can all take actionable steps toward better sleep. Let's commit to going to bed and waking up at the same time every day. This consistency helps regulate our internal clock and leads to deeper, more restorative sleep. We should also consider our sleep environment. Darkening the room, keeping it cool, and minimizing distractions can significantly improve our sleep quality. 11. Quitting Comparing myself to others, comparison is indeed the thief of joy. Many of us have found ourselves entangled in the web of comparing our lives to those of others. Perhaps we've scrutinized our career paths, envied material possessions that others flaunt, or wished we had a body that mirrors those we see in magazines and on social media. This relentless cycle of comparison can lead to a deep sense of inadequacy and dissatisfaction. It is a trap that can ensnare us at any stage of life, distorting our perception of self-worth and undermining our happiness. But here's the good news. As we journey through life, particularly as we gain wisdom with age, we have the power to break free from this cycle and embrace the beauty of our own individual paths. We must recognize that each of our journeys is uniquely our own. Turning 60, for instance, can be a transformative experience, one where we begin to appreciate the richness of our own stories rather than focusing on someone else's narrative. We've lived through myriad experiences that shape us, each moment contributing to the mosaic of who we are today. When we shift our perspective from comparison to appreciation, we unlock a wellspring of peace and contentment that comes from within. We learn to celebrate our own accomplishments, no matter how small, and honor the lessons learned through challenges and setbacks. This shift allows us to see that our worth is not measured by external benchmarks, but by the courage we show in navigating our unique lives. Moreover, it is essential for us to foster a mindset of gratitude and self-acceptance. Instead of allowing the success of others to diminish our self-esteem, let us choose to learn from them. We can recognize that their achievements do not detract from our potential. Rather, they can inspire us to pursue our own goals with renewed vigor. We must remind ourselves that we are all on our own timelines, and there is no single path to success or happiness. When we cultivate a spirit of gratitude, we begin to see the value in our own experiences, the friendships we've built, the knowledge we've gained, and the challenges we've overcome. This process can be liberating, enabling us to release the burden of comparison and fully embrace who we are. As we wrap up, letting go of these 11 things after turning 60 can truly transform our lives. It allows us to live more intentionally, focus on what truly matters, and embrace this new chapter with joy and purpose. We encourage you, whether you're approaching this stage of life or already there, to take some time to reflect on what you might need to release in order to live more fully. Your time is precious, and it's important not to waste it on things that no longer serve you. We'd love to hear your thoughts and stories. What have you let go of that brought more joy and peace to your life? Share with us in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more valuable content. Let's continue this journey together.